David and David here to tell you about the best earbuds of 2021. It's about a 6-month follow-up from our first video.
Right. So far, we've spent over $8,000 on headphones to bring you unbiased reviews. So we think you can trust our ratings here.
Yeah, we've listened to 8 tracks, every single pair of headphones, all just for comfort, durability, portability. Let's just dive right into it.
Let's dive into it.
Timestamps are in the description if you just want to skip right to the results.
Exactly, and if you really like these, please subscribe, please join the channel.
Anker, Soundcore, Liberty, Air 2 Pro. Oh, it's a slider.
It's a slide up.
I also like that the case is relatively small. Yeah, I mean, these feel very much like the original AirPods. The little pointer design there. Got a whole bunch of sizes. Look at that. Too many sizes. Too much Liberty. My grade for this, I just put yikes. The treble was ridiculous.
I started laughing during the Beck song. The B sounds, the P sounds, the pop, all those things, more like farting.
AirPods Pro, Apple's top-of-the-line earbuds.
These are actually my AirPods Pro, so I threw away the box a long time ago, so sorry. It's an Apple box. Yeah. You know what you're signing up for.
Personally, I thought the original AirPods just fit a little bit better. How do they make your ears feel?
Fine. Yeah, I take these to the driving range sometimes. Yeah, they're very light. I think they're very comfortable. The spatialized stereo is a great feature. It sounds really cool. It sounds wide.
Of all the headphones we've listened to so far,
of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world,
that was my least favorite Beastie Boys. It got kind of muddy and just, ugh.
Thank
They're
you.
Good earbuds, and if you have an iPhone or an iPad or a Mac, you won't be disappointed, but they're not going to blow your mind. Audio-Technica QuietPoint ATH-ANC 300 TW. I'm not going to say that every time.
It looks like little feet.
Yeah, it doesn't really clear. It does look like feet. It doesn't look
Yeah,
like
little shoes. The color doesn't match.
Yeah, well, it's like black and it's very dark blue. They're cozy.
Not super comfortable for me.
Oh my gosh. Downhill from the start.
Where is the sound? That it's not physically painful.
But
It's very quiet and flat. Yep.
Not immersive.
My overall take was, can hear the sound that comes out of them, and that's the problem.
Boom. Roasted.
Bose QuietComfort earbuds. We made these videos about 6 months ago. These are my favorite.
Bulky case compared to the AirPods, 3 times bigger. Yeah. Everything about this screams quality Bose.
Yeah. Does kind of remind me of those little Bluetooth earpieces people used to make phone calls on.
It is literally a Bluetooth earpiece that people make phone calls on.
I found myself looking for a little bit more bass on a few of the tracks. Maybe I was looking through rose-colored...
Bose-colored glasses.
Bose-colored glasses.
We had our Bose-colored glasses on. I thought everything was a little bit trebly. I thought the Stevie Ray Vaughan song had a nice amount of space.
I don't know if they're going to hold on to the top spot this time. Bose Sport earbuds.
We are not paid by Bose, even though people accused us of that.
Yeah, I wish.
After our last review. A little bit of a bulkier case than you may be used to.
The flaps, not super firm. It feels like they're making them for my ears. So, row 56, what'd you think?
My only complaint is that I think it sounded a tiny bit thin in the top end, like a little trebly at times. I think that the bass sounded pretty balanced.
The space, 3D space, the full stage. Maybe
the full stage, the fullness of it.
It's just not
quite there. Yeah, for $180, I feel like these are the value pick.
House of Marley Redemption ANC earbuds. It's interesting the way they set it up where they put the earbuds separate from the case. I like the design of the case and the earbuds, really. The wood accent it has. They don't feel comfortable at all. They're like falling out when I turn my head.
I mean, this piece, like, see, it's already giving. I mean, they're snug. I think they're too big.
I didn't really get the 3D space at all in the songs we were testing it for, and I just flat.
Flat. Totally flat. Flat. Flatter than a pancake. All right, I'm just gonna put these on the floor because there's no trash can behind us.
Jabra Elite 85T. I have to say, I think the 75Ts were our least favorite headphones of all. Looking at the case itself, pretty small, good, fit in your pocket. Actually, these are fitting okay.
They have a very officey look to me.
Very comfortable and light, though.
These are $229.
Okay, well, they better feel good, huh?
Good passive sound isolation. They suck.
I thought they were all right. They were, you know, I think you didn't like them as much as I did. I wasn't top of the line, but you could definitely get the 3D space.
There was a lack of high-end. There's no hi-hat, no crispy stuff. In the mid-range was okay.
By no means the best headphones we've listened to today. Klipsch T5 2 True Wireless Sport. What is going on in here?
It's got a built-in desiccant to the case. That is going to be waterproof, I think. Yeah, they actually look really cool. A little blue light glowing.
So just be careful. IP67 is not permanent.
Blah.
It feels like they weren't super crisp with the sounds. It felt like it was missing
high-end clarity.
Yeah.
Kind of flat, just a lot of mid-range for me. It sounded really mono to me. No definition, it was very blah.
Occiam K23 TWS. That's a mouthful. Wow, that's a big case.
Big giant soap bar case.
It doesn't really open all the way. They definitely feel secure and snug.
I don't think these go in my ears very well. Very little of the passive noise canceling.
Yeah, I mean, I was not impressed by these. We're listening for overall clarity. Well, there wasn't a ton of clarity. Wide dynamic range, clarity from loud to soft, there wasn't that.
Where to bass.
Yeah.
Sounds like you get about 40% of a track. You just don't get mid-range or low end.
Here they are. OnePlus Bullets kind of reminds me of the Beats Flex wireless earbuds that just have a gigantic wire. So if you hold it at your end of the table,
And along.
it's like, what, 3 feet, 2 feet?
No case.
I'm not a fan of the rest it on your neck thing.
Whoever said they wanted us to review these is in trouble. Even the outside, like this part is just sharp.
We pretty much know what these are, and we know what the price point is. I thought these sounded pretty good.
Yeah, you're wrong. Like a ton of bass. These are like bass boost headphones. A pretty decent mid-range, and then it covers up the high end. You get the bass and not the space.
Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. So this is, I think, the smallest case so far. This is, if you like black, this is, you know, off to a really strong start.
It's like, how much more black could this be? And the answer is none. None more black.
Comfy, snug.
They're very shiny. I don't think these feel very comfortable. So after it plays a noise, there's this electronic processory sound. Not very good passive noise canceling.
I was pretty impressed
I
by
thought these were great sounding.
Yeah, light on the bass, but just slightly. And I thought the 3D space was really excellent, especially for earbuds, but maybe just lacking a little bit.
There was definitely a treble boost, a slight boost, like around the S sounds.
Next up, we've got the Shure Aonic 215 True Wireless Earbuds. It's pretty big.
You can't put it in your pocket.
What do you think about the black on white there?
I think it's cool.
This plastic is pretty hard. That might get grating after a while. Some earbuds, you kind of leave them in, you kind of just forget they're there. That's not going to happen with these.
So it's just like, there's too much here. I think it's almost dangerous.
I feel like there was some like questionable noises and like, I wouldn't say crackling, but it didn't sound right.
Poor Michael. No.bass.net. These things are poor excuses for headphones. Great headphones for people who don't like bass.
Yeah, I just think they're bad in general. Skullcandy, Indy, ANC Fuel. Now, this case feels kind of cheap to me.
Kind of a two-toner.
Now, what's going on with these little tips?
It's got two things that conform to your ears.
One thing I do like about these is that it gives you a few different ways to customize. You don't want the flap? Take it off. You want different ear caps? Change them out. Oh, another decent pair of earbuds to me. The bass sounded a little rumbly.
It's like there's bass, but there's a lack of clarity to it.
But do I feel like I'm in a live environment? No. Does it sound good? Yeah.
Also, when I was listening to the Morning Song by Beck, there was a little cutout for me.
I heard that too.
So that could be a real concern.
Next up, we have the Sony XM4 earbuds.
We heard you people.
I like how it clicks back a little bit more too. Some of the other cases we've looked at, the case doesn't go back all the way, it doesn't click. Yeah, I mean, these really fill up your ear. Maybe a little bit too big.
Too big how?
The body of it.
The outside, not
The outside.
not the ear. It's not totally tight for you? You're doing something wrong.
Really excellent noise canceling.
Ridiculous. The best I've ever heard.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty good.
Pretty
I
good?
don't know. Yeah.
I thought they were fabulous.
I think you're not going to be disappointed if you get these. It didn't sound as wide as some of the other earbuds. I don't know.
No, you don't know. I'm not sure that anybody else is going to be able to beat those.
The tests are over. It's time to start handing out the grades. What was your number 3 earbud?
My number 3 earbud was the Bose Sport Earbuds. What was your number 3?
My number 3, bit of a surprise here, was row 62. That was actually the Jabra Elite 85T.
Yeah, this is shameful. So for me, the Jabra Elite 85Ts were 6th from the worst.
Okay.
Out of about 18 pairs that we tested. So we sort of disagreed on this one.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a surprise too because the 75Ts were the worst.
I can't believe how bad these are. Terrible, too much bass, nothing else. Right, I mean, for me, I wrote just totally missing high end, decent clarity otherwise.
I gave it a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s.
I gave it a lot of 2s and a lot of 2.5. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, difference of opinion there.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yep. $229 price tag. Might be a little.
$179 price tag.
Might be a little bit high. Well, those might be showing up on my list. What was your number 2?
My number 2 were the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s, which are not here right now because we reviewed them a few months ago.
It was a whole other experience. Fabulous sounding. Not even close to these.
We pay for everything ourselves, as we've said before, so adding another $299 price tag to our already $8,000 bill was a little bit much.
Yes.
But they are fabulous headphones. You're here to hear about the headphones.
Yes.
You're here to hear about them.
My number 2 were the Galaxy Buds Pro. Another surprise because last time the Galaxy earbuds were not great. This time, these are really impressive.
I thought that these were extremely comfortable. If you're looking for a comfortable pair of headphones, sounds great for these. These were number 4 on my list. I was gonna have them be number 3, but then I found out that they weren't quite as cheap as I thought they were. These are actually cheaper than those.
These are $199. Number 1 overall.
Yeah, number 1 overall for me, and we're gonna disagree on this as well, Sony XM4s by a mile. And I do wanna say that last time it was the Bose QuietComfort earbuds and the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless, which were stand out way above the rest. That's why Sennheiser is still number 2. Bose, however, has fallen off the list. Why? Yep, these guys. They have fallen right off the list. Remember that firmware updates come out all the time that change the quality of the sound that comes out of every pair of wireless headphones. The software on these headphones has a lot to do with it. For me, far and away, the best sounding headphones I have heard in the earbud category are the Sony XM4s. And these were one of the number 1 requests from people in the comments section.
Yeah, I will say about the QuietComforts, it's not like they're bad. These were number 4 for me.
Yeah, me too.
But the quality just wasn't as good as the first time I listened to them.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what changed. And we actually didn't believe it, so we listened to them on 2 separate days. But it was consistent.
Yeah, for me, the Sony XM4s, they just didn't really fit in my ears all that well. And I was like, am I crazy? So I went online and looked at some reviews, and this is a problem for people with smaller ears a little bit. So maybe I'm not crazy. We did try the smalls, and it still wasn't a great fit for me.
Right. Well, it was more about the outside of the earbud for you, right?
Yes.
Because there's kind of a bulbous outside to it. So maybe if you're giving these as a gift to a little kid or an adult-sized man with smaller ears,
there's no need for anyone looking at my ears anymore.
Then be careful of that. I think that they were extremely comfortable. They were about as comfortable as the Sennheisers, probably a little bit more comfortable for me. Probably the most comfortable pair.
We'll say best noise canceling, not even close.
Yeah, these were a solid 5 for me. Of all of the headphones we reviewed, we're talking like almost 50 pairs of headphones across all the different categories. These got the highest rank for me.
Yeah, so maybe it's just an ear thing for me. Try them out, test them out. If they don't fit well for you, send them back. If they do work, great.
Yep.
For me, my number 1 was row 1, and that was actually the Bose Sport earbuds.
Wow.
Yeah.
You thought these sounded better than everything else.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, the thing is about these, when we reviewed them last time, they were really bass heavy, and we were like, okay, they're exercise headphones. The bass is going to be ridiculous.
I felt like these were optimized for bass.
That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming you're working out, you want to hear more bass, and so they just tuned it up just a little bit. It sounds like Bose kind of toned that back just a little bit.
I agree.
So I really, really liked them.
Yeah.
Super comfortable. I do like that little tip that they come with.
And that's really the difference, I think, between the two of us. The Sonys, the Sennheisers are the type, and the Sonys come with memory foam too, which is awesome, where you can sort of roll it up. It goes right in your ear, a lot of passive noise canceling. The Bose style has more of the tip that sort of gets pressed into your ear, but doesn't actually go into your ear canal. So if you don't like the idea of things going into your ears, but I mean, that sounds scarier than it actually is. I think that these are the most comfortable. David thinks these are the most comfortable. I get it. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, what about the worst 3?
Now let's talk about the worst.
My number 3 on the worst was the Shure Aonic 215s. You roll this case on over here.
Yeah, roll it over here.
So let's put the good ones on my side.
Get them out of here. Oh yeah, then I'll take the bad ones on my side.
There you go.
There you go, it's appropriate. For me, these were the number 4 worst, but a dishonorable mention for the price, which is $200.
Yeah.
I wrote they have a disturbingly low amount of bass. They're great if you don't like the sound of bass, at which point David got mad at me and said, everybody likes bass. Why are you saying that? I was like, I'm joking.
I don't think I said that.
It's facetious. I'm being facetious.
Oh, okay.
Great headphones for people who don't like bass.
I disagree.
What?
I just think they're bad in general.
Well, me too.
Okay.
It was a facetious statement, David.
Even if you don't like bass,
Made
don't get
for
these
effect.
headphones. I do remember that now, yeah.
Okay.
They also weren't very comfortable for me.
No,
even though they have the tips that I kind of like. Well, maybe these are the ones that go over your ear, so These
are the ones, like, if you turn your head, the bottom of them are so big that they bump against your collar or against your neck. It's just like you're wearing tonsils on your ears.
What was your number 3?
The tonsil phones. My number 3 was the House of Marley Redemption AMCs. Unfortunately, these had no redeemable qualities. Really weird EQ, some bass, some mid-range, some lower high-end. Some sort of a weird EQ where there's some bass, and then there's a dip, and then there's some mid-range, and then there's a dip, and then there's some lower of the high-end spectrum, but then there's no upper of the high-end spectrum. I think that they sounded terrible, and the price of $159 is wacko.
I didn't rate these very highly either, but they were maybe number 4 worst. So
Number 4 worst. All right.
Wasn't a big fan. Number 2 for me were the Audio-Technica QuietPoints.
Interesting. For these, I wrote you can hear the sound that comes out of them, and that's the problem.
Yeah, these just, they weren't that impressive. And especially, you know, Audio-Technica, we love those over-ear headphones.
Yeah, they make great products.
These just were not great.
This is not a great product.
I gave them a 2 on a good day.
Yeah, I didn't think that they were comfortable. Not super comfortable for me. I actually gave them a 2 as well. Yeah, not good headphones. No, I didn't. I didn't give them a 2. I gave my number 2 a 2.
Okay.
Let's get to my number 2.
What's your number 2?
Acclaim. The K23 TWS. Super thin, decent clarity on the high end, absolutely no bass or low end. If you like the sound of bass, don't get these headphones. So these are the Acclaim K23 TWS. If you remember, the K19 sub was a Soviet nuclear submarine, and a bunch of people died. This sort of falls right into that tradition of being radioactive and terrible. The K23s.
Yeah, I didn't rate these very high either. I gave them a 2.5, about where the House of Marleys were for me. So
yeah, I mean, these are $43 headphones, and I don't think they're worth it.
Okay, well, if they're $43, okay, well, you're getting what you pay for. Number 1 worst for me were the Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pros.
Yeah, we were talking about the marketing behind this.
Yeah.
Let's have the conversation. I'm the Chinese company. They're made in Shenzhen, Soundcore. What do Americans like? They like Liberty.
Air.
They like MacBook Airs. They like MacBook Pros. Yep. And this is the second one we've made, Liberty Air 2 Pro. Yep. Okay.
These got a yikes from me.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, they weren't that bad. They were right in the middle of the pack. Decent balance, just too much treble. And then the treble would get a little distorted, definitely below average, but David hated them.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Your number 1 worst?
Number 1 worst. And I was really surprised when I found out that they were the Audio-Technica QuietPoints. They actually were too quiet. I felt like Audio-Technica hit the nail on the head in the wrong way with this one, where I had to turn up the volume to even hear them as loudly as the other ones. Yeah. So unfortunately, Audio-Technica, a brand that I love, I hate these headphones.
Yeah, I sort of do another dishonorable mention here with the Google Pixel Buds from last time. We didn't review these again.
Wait a minute. How did those not end up on my list?
I don't know. You said you were going to put them there. I was reaching to get them, and then...
For whatever reason, I forgot to... Okay, they're so bad, they're not... Yeah. This is number 2. Number 1 worst headphones. Not to buy. Google Pixel Buds. These things are shamefully bad. Yeah. There's an electronic sound. It's just bad electronics that you hear. It crackles while you're listening to the music. They sound terrible, terrible, terrible. And yeah, these are just, I think I just put them out of my head, out of my mind.
When I was looking at the reviews for the Sony, checking for the small ear thing, one person actually left a review saying they threw their Google Pixel Buds in the trash. And I would actually agree that the Sonys are significantly better than the Pixel Buds.
That's very generous of you.
Not a very bold statement.
People at Sony right now are thinking,
phew,
wow, that's great.
Gonna add that to the website. Yeah. Testimonial. So,
better than the worst earbuds.
To summarize, Sony's XM4s, Bose Sport earbuds. I like the Jabras. You didn't like them as much.
I didn't like them. And it's not just because I don't like Jabras. It's totally blind. I had no idea which ones they were. They also have sort of an office environment look to them. I wasn't too crazy about the style.
Those are our favorite earbuds. Thanks for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave us a comment down below. We'll do another follow-up and it'll be another 6 months. We missed any headphones this time. Let us know. Thanks for watching.
We'll review them. Thanks.